Hey everyone, welcome back. In part 2, I'll be planting the Rocky Mountain inspired forest aquarium. If you haven't seen part 1, the hardscape, check it out. Plant selection for a forestscape needs to be done carefully. We went with a lot of small plants with delicate leaves to provide an appropriate sense of scale next to the trees. Large and broadleaf plants can really skew the sense of scale, undoing a lot of the hard work that went into a hardscape like this. Monte Carlo is being used in the meadow area. Originally a UNS tissue culture, I filled up a couple containers from my home tank. Even though they're little sprigs right now, this whole area will become a lush carpet in not too long. It's really important to get Monte Carlo planted fairly deep so that the roots can set. It's fine if only a small portion of the plant is sticking out on top. If they don't get planted deep enough, they're likely to float to the surface when you fill the tank or turn the filter on. Most of the other plants were purchased new, so they'll require some preparation. Nowadays, it's pretty common to find plants that have been growing in gel. In vitro plants, as they're called, have been grown from a small sample on highly nutritious gel in sterile conditions to guarantee there's no pests. Personally, I'm not that worried about pests on plants. It happens on occasion, and it's part of the hobby. I just like the variety of plants you can find online, and they often come that way. You'll want to wash the gel off before planting because it's packed with nutrients that shouldn't enter the aquarium. If your plants come in rock wool, make sure to wash that out too, while being careful not to damage roots. A small clump of stem plants, Pogostamen erectus, will add a little height to the back of the tank and create a sense of depth. They're very small right now, but will grow tall in time. There are lots of small Anubias and Bucephalandra species that work well around tree roots and rocks because they don't like being planted in soil. If you can, wedge them between two objects. If there isn't space, use some super glue. Gel is preferred, but liquid works too. Make sure to spray everything down frequently, especially if you live in a dry climate. A couple species of grass will add a really natural touch. Having a few concentrated clumps and some scattered sprigs looks far more wild than clumping all the grasses in one area. These two lava rocks should look like tree-covered hills in the distance once this Taiwan moss fills in. I'm tying it using some green sewing thread. I use super glue to attach a few clumps of Christmas moss on these branches. Phoenix moss looks great scattered around on the forest floor. It helps to provide a sense of a mature, old-growth forest. Make sure to slowly fill the tank. I like my sponge and lid trick so that water doesn't agitate the sand bed. 1 week later, and things are not looking great. I've never seen algae like this before. It checks all the boxes for diatomaceous algae, except that it's not brown. I'm still pretty sure it's diatomaceous. Either way, I make sure to scrub all of it off the trees and rocks, then do a big ol' 70% water change. Another week later, and the tank has been drained down so that we can shimmy the stand a few inches away from the wall. I absolutely love how the creek actually looks like a real creek teeming with shrimp. For some reason, this really made my day. Fortunately, the algae issue seems to have been resolved after a couple big water changes, addition of shrimp and floating plants, as well as reduction of the light intensity. I'm really happy with how things have turned out. A few plants have melted, but that's pretty normal for some of the in vitro plants when they hit water for the first time, and most of them should bounce back. I can't wait to see how amazing this tank will look when things fill in. Thanks so much for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.